to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted as always to be joined by the main man himself, Dalton Smith. Dalton, first and foremost, mate, you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, well needed rest, but yeah, I've had a good Christmas, mate. Thank you.
Good stuff. Well needed rest because congratulations as well on signing an extension with Matchroom, a promotional deal with Matchroom again. So congratulations on that. I will come to that, but you mentioned there well needed rest because for somebody who's had 10, 12, 13 fights, you're not a prospect anymore, but you had 4 fights last year, so it was a busy year for you.
Yeah.
Or this year, sorry, 2022.
This year, yeah. So, yeah, it was a busy year, and, that was a plan from the start, and, push towards that British title, which we got, towards the back end of the year. So, yeah, it was a year we wanted to be active like that, and yeah, successful year.
I want to just, obviously, the 4 fights you've had, I mean, you sort of announced yourself on the 140-pound scene in this year with a great win against Ray Mollett, the last round stoppage in Leeds. Then you went on to face, I can't remember the gentleman's name, in Cardiff. It was a fight that got you out there, and then you obviously fought Samuel Mason in another great knockout win, and then obviously the Casey Benjamin fight that you had, a fight that you've been calling out for a long time, and you've done. But 4 fights, 4 wins, 3 knockouts out of them, 4 wins. You happy with that?
Yeah, happy and getting my first 12 rounds under my belt as well, which which we needed. So yeah, looking over the year, I got a couple of knockouts, and obviously got a 12 round underneath my belt. So yeah, I can't grumble. I'm very happy with it.
You won the British title, and then you defended it successfully at the tail end of the year there against Casey Benjamin. So when you look into to 2023, and again, we've spoke about this on numerous occasions, you and I, we've spoke about the depth of talent in the 140-pound division. It's obviously you've got Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall, who's probably at the top. You've got Howard Davis, Lewis Ritson, Robbie Davis Jr., Harlem Eubank, who's a great fight, Sam Maxwell. Just them guys around your 12, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 fights. I mean, next year looks like it's going to be a great year for you if we can see you against these big guys, these big names.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, I've got myself into a position now where, I'm looking for those fights. And like you said, my weight's stacked. I always said I'm never going to be short of fights. But, I believe this year, I really stamped my name down in the 140 division. And just like you said, there's some big fights out there.
Are you scared to lose that? I mean, like you say, again, you and your dad, you're very, very smart when it comes to picking your fights. Your dad will say to you, you're not ready for him, you're not ready for him. But like I said, you're what, 13, 14-0, 15-0?
13-0, yeah.
13-0, well, a British champion, already defended it. You're WBC international champion as well. So looking at your first fight in 2023, is it going to be a top 10 ranked opponent?
Yeah, especially this year. I want to be pushing towards those big names and, look towards the Europeans, to come up, try and pick a Commonwealth up. But for me, I want the British outright. So I've got 2 more fights left for the belt to keep for keep. So, I'd like to get 2 quick defences in next year, and get that British title for keeps.
Are you scared to lose your zero? If you do have to defend it against somebody like a Harlem Eubank or a Sam Maxwell?
No, we're in the fight game. You know what I mean? There's a winner and a loser, and I've always said that's why I've never avoided a fight, amateur or professional, because at the end of the day, if you're good enough, you're going to win. If you're not, you're going to lose. And that's how boxing goes. So, there's no point being scared of losing. No, it's just a number.
Well, that's it, mate, and that's quite refreshing to hear a young fighter to say. But yeah, looking at the 2023, and you won 2 quick defences, and then what? European title?
Yeah, obviously it's looking ahead, but that's the plan. We'd like to go down, especially get the British for keeps first, and then we'll see what the options are after that. But I'm looking to get out end of Feb, March, and get the year started.
I know your dad and Paul Reddy. They're very, very smart when it comes to the boxing game. But as a young fighter, you've got itchy knuckles. I mean, you look at fight. I can imagine you looking at the 140-pound division internationally at world level and being like, I can't wait to finally get to that stage so I can face, like, again, your Teofimo Lopez has moved into the 140-pound division. Regis Prograis there, Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall, Jose Pedraza. It's an absolutely stacked. Sandor Martin, who done a good win against a good, well, I could say a good win, but he fought Lopez. You've got Ryan Garcia, Javante Davis. It's an okay division when you look at world level. Are you itching? Are you itching to get there? ASAP?
I'm just gonna win this other room for the signal.
Oh,
But no, it's the like you said, the division's stacked, and especially at the world scene, you know, there's some big names there, and you know they're the fights I want to be in. So you know I've got to push on well this year to get those big fights in the next 18 months.
I know you probably can't let on what discussions are being held, but see when you sit down with Paul Reddy, your dad, and yourself, and you're talking about the year ahead, do you ever jump the gun and be like, yeah, I want to face him, and then they're like, no, come back a little bit, Dalton. Do you know what I mean? We need to do this. You ever jump the gun and been eager to face these guys at world level?
Yeah, it's hard because it's like yeah and no, because you know I've always said to my dad, obviously through professional boxing, you've got to learn your craft. You've got to learn the ins and the outs of the game. And I've always said once I'm at that level, I want to stay there until, you know, my career's done. So I've always been a fighter where I know you can't rush things and things happen in the right time and moment. So, you know, I just take each fight at a time. You know, that's just the way I am. And, you know, like you said, we're talking about the year ahead, but the only thing I focus on is my next fight. Anything after that is irrelevant. And, you know, I believe it's, you know, one of my strengths where I never really overlook the next fight. You know, it was the same with the Casey Benjamin fight. Like, people was overlooking that. And I knew I had a tough fight, and Casey's a good fighter. So, especially at that level, you can't take your eye off the ball. You've got to be 100%. And that's just the way it is. You've got to take your time.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the interview there, you've signed an extension to your Matchroom deal, I believe, with Eddie Hearn, promotional deal. And it was probably well speculated, and a lot of people knew that you were getting scouted by other promoters, and there was a lot of talks. And who would he re-sign with Eddie? Would he go with Sky? Would he do this? Would he do that? Was it an easy decision for you to stay with Eddie?
To be honest, I really stayed out of it. I left it to Sean O'Toole, obviously my management, STN. So it's, you know, I didn't really get too much headache from it. I literally just sat back, let Sean do all the hard work, and my dad. So. And I just, you know, I had the final decision on the end. So I didn't really stress myself out too much with it.
Well, obviously, we've seen what Eddie can do. He's brought young fighters through and got them world title shots, and he's got them to be world champions. If there's going to be a promoter out there to get you that world title shot and to get you fighting out over in the States against these big names, it's going to be Eddie, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, like, for me, you know, Eddie's proven Eddie's the best promoter out there, and I don't know any different because I've only been with Eddie from the start. So, and obviously you've got your Sky Sports, the Sky platform and that there. But, you know, I think once we sat down with my team and, you know, made a final decision, Eddie was that's all I know with Eddie, and Eddie's delivered. So, you know, I'm excited for the next few fights.
When are you hoping for to be out then? Obviously, you said 2 quick defenses in 2023. Are you hoping for an early sort of like February, March time maybe to get out in 2023?
Yeah, so we're looking like February, March. I'm back in the gym and that now. So, you know, we're just waiting for some dates and that to come through, some opponents, and, you know, hopefully have some fight news pretty soon.
Can we see it in Sheffield? Can we see you headlining in Sheffield?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to have a Sheffield headline in, you know, pretty early in the year. So we'll see.
We've spoken about this in the past as well about Sheffield. When you look at Sheffield boxing, when you look at the guys of old with Junior Witter and Nassim and all these guys, Ryan Rhodes and all these guys coming from the gym and stuff like that. So again, Kell Brook as well, he's retired. So Sheffield sort of like needing that next guy to come through, that next world champion. And I've always said that, is it you, Dalton? So I'll ask it again. Is it you, Dalton? Are you the next guy, the big name to come from Sheffield?
I'm hoping so. I mean, but yeah, it's, you know, boxing is a conveyor belt, and, you know, Sheffield produced some, you know, great fighters over the years, and I believe I'm that next crop now. So yeah, I believe I'm going to be Sheffield's next star.
Obviously, it's going to be stupid of me not to ask you this question. Is obviously with the Josh Taylor Catterall rematch coming so close next year in March, and being that is in your division and being a fighter, I'm guessing you've got one eye on these guys because who knows what can happen in the future. So I'll get your thoughts on the rematch. You don't again. I know you're the type of fighter that doesn't really like to make predictions or call anyone out or do anything like that. But your thoughts on the fight itself?
I think it's going to be a great fight, and it's a fight. I think it's a fight what needed to happen, especially for Josh's career with the, what happened with the last fight and stuff. So, as a fan, I'm glad the fight's on. But I think the thing with me is Josh has looked like he's outgrown the weight probably the last 2 fights. So the weight's always going to be an option. He's not going to get smaller. He's only going to get bigger. So I think the weight for Josh, will be interesting to see how he comes in and how he looks on the scales. But I do think it'll be a completely different fight. I think Catterall is a lot better fighter from the last fight, and I think we all know Josh is a much better fighter. So very interesting.
Definitely, it's going to be a good one to kickstart the year. And one final one from me then. What can we expect from Dalton in 2023? Can we expect a British outright, European? What can we expect?
That's the plan. I want that British around my waist for keeps this year, and then we'll move on. But I think expect a big year from me, and I think towards the end of the year, that's when I'll push on towards the world scene. Yeah,
it's going to be an exciting year. Like I said, I've been there from your debut and I've watched you win that British title and become 13. So it's like I said, I was a fan, and I'm a fan. I am, Dalton. So it's going to be a good year. I'm looking forward to watching your career push on from this. So listen, good luck with it all. I know you've been training today, so it's a bit burning off that Christmas turkey and that Christmas dinner. So well done to you.
That's it.
But listen, good luck next year. No doubt I'll catch up with you soon at the next show, no doubt. But listen, Dalton, I appreciate your time, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Dalton.
See you soon.
Bye.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte. See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.